Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 3 announcements for History 370. All right. So I enjoyed reading people's writing assignments. I think people seem to have enjoyed these readings. I thought they were pretty funny. One thing some people kind of struggled with, though, was understanding. I think that this showed the power of the United States compared to Japan when we look at Perry, right, and his decision to give the Japanese a white flag. I mean, it's hilarious, right? When you think about the chutzpah, this Perry guy, that he says, we're going to have a fight. Here's a white flag. You're going to need it because you guys are going to lose, right? And that shows just the pressure that Japan was under, that Perry could do this and get away with it. Some people struggled with this, but a lot of people caught that Fukuzawa Yukichi was not that impressed by Western technology, not because it wasn't something that was interesting and could do things Japan couldn't do, but because he was already familiar with it, right? People in the United States kind of expected him to ooh and ah about all these different, the sugar refinery things. He's like, yeah, this is cool, but I already knew about it, right? So he already respected Western technology. He wasn't going to be astonished by it because of his familiarity with the outside world through Dutch and later English studies. A few people, I think, kind of skimmed the reading towards the end. They were kind of speed reading. They didn't quite get the deal with the bowl and the picture. But that was meant just to show how this guy was just, I mean, I can't agree with doing either of these things, but the guy was funny and was kind of a scamp. He was up to a lot of shenanigans, as we would say in my house. But that was one thing that I think was interesting, was how he, pretended that he implied that he had a romantic relationship with the woman in the picture. And, he just walks into a restaurant and steals a bowl. I mean, and then he finds out it was used, maybe not for the most sanitary things, but he ate his food out of it. So in any case, I was glad to see that people enjoyed those. This next writing assignments, they're a little bit different because they're treating visual materials as the primary sources. There's some essays that are about the Sino-Japanese and Russo-Japanese wars and the materials that come out of them, the postcards and wood blocks and things like that. And then there's a worksheet based on them. So it's a little bit different, perhaps a little bit more difficult, but I think also very interesting, especially for those of you who are more visual learners, because this is looking at the kind of graphic art representations of battles that were coming out of this time period. So that's about all I have to say about the assignments. Now the quizzes. So the first quiz, there was a lot of A's. 8 people got A's out of 11 people, and the average grade on the first quiz was a 91%. Quiz 2, though, was not so good. It dropped down from a low A to like a middle C, and there was only a couple of A's. Now, I expected that to happen, and that's because the study guide was not required for week 1, right? Remember the week 1 we had that study guide, so people filled out the guide. They did a great job, and my guess is week 2 people said, oh great, we don't have to fill out the study guide anymore, and that's why grades went down. So if your quiz 2 grade went down and you didn't fill out the study guide, then what you would want to do is fill out the study guide for week 3, and maybe even go back and do week 2 as well, and I'm sure your grade will go back up. And basically, there's a saying among teachers, you don't really understand something if you cannot teach it, right? If I can't explain something to someone, then I can't really say that I understand it. So when you fill out a study guide, you're basically teaching. You're basically explaining these ideas. And if you're like, geez, I don't understand this, then it's good to rewatch the video again, right? That's how you get it. So that's just something to think about. So take good notes, fill out the study guide. Filling out reinforces what you know, and it gives you a good study guide to refer to when you take the quiz. Now, I went on ahead and figured current grades. If you go into Blackboard, you will see a current, it says like pre-midterm grade. That's your grade right now going into the midterm. So you can have an idea of just where you stand. One thing that's, I think, kind of frustrates me as a teacher with summer classes is that they're just over so quickly, right? Students don't have that much time to adjust. Right, we're already in the 3rd week, but I mean, that's the midterm. It's the 3rd week. Now, a few things about, I'm sorry. So that's your current grade. Now you may be like, oh my gosh, I just totally bombed that quiz. How am I going to recover? Well, see, I knew that we were going to have this problem. I knew it was going to happen because it happens in all my classes. People, when I have a study guide assignment, people do really well in the first exam when I require a study guide. And then the second exam, they have trouble because there was no required study guide. It just got put off or people didn't do it. Whatever, something happened. So I knew that was going to happen. So there is a bonus assignment, right? If you look in the week 3 folder, there is a bonus assignment which you can do. And basically that bonus assignment is just you uploading the week 3 study guide filled out, and you can get up to 20 points by doing that, right? So you fill out the week 3 study guide, upload it onto the onto Blackboard, and you can get up to 20 points. It has to be done by 11:59 p.m. Friday. I won't accept it after that. 0 after that. 11:59 p.m. Friday, because I want you to have at least one day to review the study guide. Hopefully you'll review more of it, but at least one day to review the study guide, and then you can take the quiz on Sunday, or the midterm on Sunday, right? That's the idea. So week 3, study guide, upload it by Friday, 11:59 p.m. on the link found in the week 3 folder, and you will get up to 20 bonus points, right? Provided, it just depends on how well you fill the thing out. But that's the way you can recover, right? The quiz was worth 90 points. This is worth 20 points. And that will give you should be able, if you had trouble, you could recover. Of course, if you did well in the quiz, go ahead and do it. Get some extra points. It's fine. And one reason why the week 3 is so important is because this is the time we have our midterm. There's a midterm this week, right? 50 questions, each worth 4 points. That means you will get 50 minutes to complete it, right? You will get 50 minutes to complete it. So just keep that in mind. Do remember that the final exam is cumulative for all 6 weeks. The midterm is cumulative for the first 3 weeks. So make sure you fill out those study guides. Make sure you keep them. That will make your life so much easier. You'll get a good grade, hopefully. Now, I need to tell you a little bit about the upcoming videos. So section 4, parts 4 and 5 are a little difficult. This is because, for a couple reasons. There's a problem in that there's just not as much being done on Korea as China and Japan during this time period. So I have to kind of fill in, right? I can kind of bring in interesting videos and things like that that are fun documentaries. This one's a little bit harder to do that. So I gave my sections 4 and 5 are lectures trying to talk about Korea, looking at this theme of how Korea relates to other countries, right? A lot of what we're trying to do in this class is trying to talk about how these 3 countries of China, Japan, and Korea relate and interact with each other, right? So when I teach modern China, modern Japan, modern Korea, I focus on just one country. But here in this class, I'm trying to bring them all together and talk about how they influence each other. So the way I deal with this is I give a couple lectures on this guy, An Chung-gun, who I'm a specialist in. Like I go to Korea and give presentations on him, my dissertations on him, lots of stuff like that. So he's someone that I specialize in. He's someone I focus on. So that is a little bit difficult. Please just bear with me. Fill out the study guide. You should be fine. It will really help you to deeply understand an individual. And I think that's important in this class, that we understand how individual people, in this case an individual Korean, tried to make sense of the world around him and help save his country and help his region. After that, there is what's called an Extra History, which is a video series produced by the Extra Credits channel, which is a really cool gaming channel, but they also do history. It's about Sun Yat-sen. And Sun Yat-sen is a very important figure in Chinese nationalism. He's respected by Chinese both in the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the People's Republic of China. So he's a really good person to know about. And just watching that video, answer the questions, but also it gives you a really good sense of who this guy was and the situation that he faced. And it helps just reinforce all these different things we're talking about. What I think is a really funny video, but one I need to kind of explain, is the SNL Korean March 1st movement video. So SNL, you may be familiar with the Saturday Night Live. Korea has its own version of Saturday Night Live, and they have a series on it called GTA, and that refers to Grand Theft Auto, which is a video game where you go around and you steal cars and stuff like that. And the joke is, in each episode of this series on SNL, they get a different game based on a historical time period typically, and they have to play through that historical time period. And that's why the guy, like, as you watch it, like the guy has he's controlling his character has trouble moving and things like that. It's all meant to make the game look like the video look like GTA. It's really funny. But it does explain something about how Koreans today understand the March 1st movement. I think that's interesting, and it's funny. It's a nice rest, a nice break, I think, while still helping people to learn. And I use that video every chance I get the opportunity to, because I think it's so hilarious. You may have seen it before. Just enjoy watching it again. So your password is Righteous Army. Righteous Army. If you misspell it, it's okay, but it's Righteous Army. It'll make sense later when you watch the videos why I want that to be the password. But like I said, remember that the password has to be due by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday, right? To get your 5 points, got to get it to me by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday. Don't forget to submit your bonus assignment, the Week 3 study guide, on the link in Week 3 by 11:59 p.m. Friday for 20 bonus points. Can't be after Friday. It'll be a 0 otherwise. And as always, just email me if you have any questions. Have a good week.